Oh, we feel enormous disappointment. We come to the game to celebrate together. We want to celebrate as a team. We want to celebrate with our supporter base, and so it hurts a lot, especially when there's parts to it that we played some dominant football in periods of the game, but we're putting enormous pressure on ourselves by not being able to finish our work, and that puts pressure on your system because you don't have your way the whole time and in this game. And Essendon will be able to put the foot to the floor in the third quarter, and they score 7 goals 1, and in the second quarter when we had the dominance in our half, we kicked 2 goals 5. So sometimes the game's simple like that. You've got to finish your work.
Been strong in recent weeks about that forward transition and controlling. How frustrating is it that's brought them down again after what you've been preaching in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, as you could tell, certainly through the first half, wasn't perfect the way that we're playing. There's still mistakes, and we have to embrace that. That chaos and the mistakes, and it's more about how we recover the mistakes. We certainly got a lot more opportunities. Having 56 inside 50s to 41 to the opposition. So it wasn't a lack of getting it there. Certainly wasn't a lack of intent of getting it there. But the reality is that we haven't been able to create scoreboard pressure. So you can win contests and you can be great in defence and get the ball going there. But if you're not able to be more efficient around the inside 50 or even just finish your work, it puts pressure on your system, and you're playing against good football teams that will have their way at some point in time. So we end up chasing it, through the third quarter. Lost a little bit of centre square bounce. Kicked 3 goals, I think it was, from centre square bounce. And so the game just turned straight away when we'd done such a great job to be able to put ourselves in the position that we had.
How do you look at that third quarter in that sense? I've obviously touched on wasted opportunities in that second quarter, got away from you so quickly and the lack of experience. How do you look at that?
Yeah, really disappointing. Just really disappointing. They were able to. They certainly sustained their pressure throughout the whole game. So we walk away winning the grand ball number really convincingly, but when we talk about just pure tackle number, we'll have to go back and have a look at the vision why it was so low. But their ability to be able to still put pressure on the ball carrier and still get at us and create that dominance, we just couldn't get our hands on it through that, 7-8 minute patch in the third quarter. So 4 or 5 goals later, and the game gets away from you. The what, sorry? Yeah, well, and that's just unacceptable. So it's just unacceptable, and we've got to be better than just being a team that wins the ball. We've got to be a team that can go back and pressure when it's our turn as well. And certainly through that period of time, we didn't do that.
How do you feel about the players who are clearly good off the ground by your own supporters at the end? It was pretty clear here.
Sorry, what was it?
It was pretty clear here that the players were good off the ground by your own supporters.
Yeah, I didn't hear that at the end. No. Didn't hear me that. Other than to say, we feel their disappointment. We absolutely feel their disappointment. So we are frustrated about a certain aspect of our game right now that isn't ticking over as well as we'd like.
How do you feel personally? Because we're talking about the whole club, that the senior coaching jobs are hard on and copying a lot externally. How do you feel personally?
I guess what I feel is that there's a few things to get after, and that's what we're busy getting after. That's where we'll continue to focus in. So the eyes are in. We've got some work to do, and obviously I'll lead that. So firmly fixed on making sure that we debrief the game exactly the same way, that we have consistency in what we do and the environment that we provide. And this one's just really clear. So we shouldn't be confused on message here about what the game showed for us, and so we get after that, and that's just where my focus firmly lies.
You spoke about the consistency around message, but as part of you questioned whether that messaging to players is working right now, given what they've shown in the last 5-6 weeks.
I think we're getting some. I think we're adapting. I think if you look at the way that the last few weeks have panned out, certainly over the last month, we've been able to adapt a few things into our game style. It's just not getting the full traction. So I've sort of sat here before around the phases of the game and how we're not able to string it all together, and that's been that's been turning up most weeks for us. So we've had parts of it where it's been there, and it hasn't been for long enough. So tonight there was one particular area that, if we're able to correct a little bit more, could have been a bit of a different story. What I've always felt from the entire club is support. Support for our program and what we're trying to achieve. Some immediate things that we need to be able to get after, and there's some longer term things that we need to be able to get after as well.
Was there a sense of frustration creeping in?
I think I've spoken about the frustration, so I don't need to say it again.
On the skill level, do you look back at the pre-season and think you could have done things differently? Did you commit enough time and energy to pure skill? Because everyone on the outside is sort of questioning the skill execution going forward. So, did you spend enough time? Is there parts of that you, in hindsight, you look back on?
Oh, well, I think if you look back to where we are right now, there'll be a lot that we'll reflect on. So we won't miss much. So, for us, we have to look at what capacity we need to be able to build within this football team. And there's some short-term things we can go after. There's a squad mentality we need to be able to take to that. And there's some longer terms that we need to be able to also continue to reinforce. So right now, though, we've obviously got some things that we need to get after right now. And so we get into the week-to-week cycle and we look at our next game, and it's Gold Coast, and we'll look at the things that we did really well, and we'll then go after the things that we didn't do so well. And we'll give it the attention that it actually deserves.
Luke Sayers was on radio before the match talking about still want to play finals, and it's still very much the club's goal. Is it something you're even thinking about right now?
I'm personally more worried about getting home, looking at the game, reviewing it, and getting in Monday or Tuesday and being really clear on what we need to be able to do next. There is a lot of the season left. We've got, 10 games left. There's a lot to take out of it, and we'll be playing to the last minute.
Is Paddy Cripps fully fit at the moment?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Doesn't appear to be impacting.
No, he is. Sometimes players get out of form. Sometimes they do. Who's that, sir? No, he'll be okay. He's completely fine, guys. Sometimes you lose a bit of form, and he's running through a little bit of that, and there's been a couple of players that have been in the same boat. So he's got a little challenge ahead of him to be able to rectify it, and I'll back that man in. I know where his heart is, and I know what he wants to be able to do for this football club, and I know he's absolutely desperate to be able to play the best he possibly can for this football club. It means a lot to him. So I know he won't rest until he can turn that around, and we'll continue to lead on our leadership, and we'll continue to lean on Cripper to be able to provide that leadership for us.
Just on one pre-game, Brian Cook was on ABC, was asked whether there was more changes to be coming in the football department, and whether there would be more support thrown around you. Do you feel we need more support in the footy department going forward?
I think what we've been able to do right now is that we look at obviously reflecting on what we've actually done, and we've got 10 games that we need to be able to play out and play really strongly. I feel like we've provided a great environment for our players, and we've been able to resource that really well over the last little while. And we'll continue those things that we need to be able to reinforce within our program, within the system we want to be able to play, and the things that are really important to us. So that won't change for us. It won't change in terms of our reinforcement of that over the next 10 weeks. And at the right time, we'll sit back and we'll review it thoroughly. But right now, we're in the midst of a season, and we need to be able to make sure that we play it out strongly. Cheers.